My wife spent the whole day taking care of the kids and asked me if she could go lay down. Now our relationship is about to be laid down 6 feet under. My wife and I don't argue much, and when we do, we usually communicate well afterward, and things return to normal. I often boast to my friends about how rational my wife is, and her ability to communicate and empathize is something I deeply admire. She's not one to hold grudges and always supports me through tough times. Until now, due to a fire, my wife is temporarily out of work but still receiving her salary, thanks to insurance. We decided she would stay home with our young son while out of work, even though she isn't particularly fond of child rearing, which we knew before having kids. Honestly, it's hard to tell because she's a fantastic mom, present and loving, even when I can see she's struggling internally. I give my wife plenty of breaks. We co-parent, splitting bedtime routines for our 2 kids, and we both share the workload. Yesterday was a snow day. My daughter was home with my wife and son while I was working downstairs all day. I helped my daughter with her cyber school until noon. My wife spent the morning outside in the snow with my son, clearing the driveway and sidewalks, and taking care of household chores. My daughter joined them, and from what I could hear and see in some videos, she invited her friends over to play and have hot chocolate. I worked until around 5 o'clock, and when I went upstairs, chaos ensued. My wife was doing laundry and assisting my daughter, who had fallen and hurt herself on the ice. She sent her friends home, and we had dinner. I took care of the cleanup, and right after finishing, keep in mind, I've been working downstairs all day without even a bathroom break since noon. I went into the playroom, and my wife approached me. Hey, can I go lay down for a bit? Perhaps out of offense, I admit I made a face and said, I haven't gone to the bathroom all day, and I just put cookies in the oven. I could tell I'd messed up by the look she gave me. Fine, never mind. Forget I asked. Heaven forbid. Now sensing some attitude and realizing I've misstepped, I said, no, it's fine. I'll take care of everything. Go take a break. To my complete shock, in front of our kids who may not have been paying much attention but were still within earshot, my wife said, never effing mind. I've been running around on my feet all day watching our kids and other people's kids, and heaven effing forbid I ask for 20 minutes to myself. Again, I said, go take a break. I told you it was fine, but she seemed to have lost her composure and was seeing red. She started cleaning up and tending to the kids, and I tried to overcompensate, but she took over caring for them, and they listened to her. In the hallway, I said, I think you forget I work all day, to which she replied viciously, thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot. I feel bad. I understand she works hard taking care of the kids, but I work hard too. Maybe not having her job and time away makes her reaction to our fight worse. The next day, she texted me as usual. She told me she was upset about my behavior and how I treated her. She mentioned she was looking after 6 kids all day in the snow alone, yet still managed to clean the whole house and tidy up our craft room. I told her I'm stressed at work and didn't get why she was so upset since I offered her a break, but she said, I don't want your pity breaks. She ended with, thanks for the apology, by the way, which, I didn't really apologize. But for what? Then she asked for the number of my daughter's piano teacher. That's the only activity I handle for my kids. Later, I found out she texted my wife, asking to coordinate schedules through her from now on. Normally, my wife would ask me if I could pick up our daughter from dance on my way home. I do this every week, but this time I didn't hear anything, and when I got home, I learned my wife had already taken care of it. I confronted her saying, I'm very involved with our children. Don't paint me as an absent father, she replied. If I didn't manage and ask you for help, you'd see them a quarter of the time you do now. And I'm done managing you. I get it. I should have just agreed when she asked for help, but this feels extreme. She's throwing a fit and seems to be trying to push me out of my relationship with my kids. It's so petty. It's like I don't even recognize her anymore. The calm and reasonable communicator is gone. Usually, she's the most rational person I know. It's been tough for her, and I must admit, I've been stressed at work too, so I didn't notice. I thought a few months off with pay would be a treat, but now I realize looking after 6 kids and a toddler all day might be as enjoyable as a barrel of monkeys. It seems it's my turn to be understanding and reasonable. She's done it enough for the both of us. She asks me for a break at least 3 times a week, whether it's to take a bath or read, and I almost always say yes right away. It was just a momentary lapse, and I know I reacted poorly, but she's completely shutting me out. This morning, I had to argue with her just to let me take our kid to school because she said she'd do it, and the kids just clung to her, but when I insisted, my kids started crying for her. She had to calm him down and convince convince him that going with Dad is fun just to undo what she did. He was fine with going with me, but it's messy and so unnecessary. I'm worried about her behavior. I love my wife, and I don't want to push her away. My wife has 2 days during the week without our son or daughter. She's been busy painting the house and doing deep cleaning. My son is away from 8 to 2, and my daughter from 9 to 3 on Mondays and Fridays. I think the snow day may have overwhelmed her, but hopefully she'll come around and be sensible. I've never known her to shut me out or stop communicating, and it's really worrying me. That's partly why I think there might be more to this argument. Update: I thought things would go back to normal, but they haven't. My wife used to involve me in parenting our kids. We shared dance pickups most weeks, bedtime duties were divided. I gave baths, made dinner, did all the usual stuff. Since our argument, though, my wife hasn't asked me for any help with the kids. The first morning I woke up on what was supposed to be my morning with them, I thought she was just being nice or trying to make a point, but it keeps happening. She didn't even send them down to say goodnight last night. Normally, she'd play a silly game where she'd send my son to ask me to read 5 books. Then we'd negotiate down to 1 or 2 and race upstairs. Last night, I heard her racing him and found her doing bedtime yet again. The kids haven't even noticed. It's like she's replacing me. During our argument, I said something really dumb that's been eating away at me. My wife was being harsh and said, "You wouldn't see the kids a quarter as much as you do if I didn't arrange it, and I'm done managing you." I tried to defend myself, saying I'm not an absent parent, and blurted out something like, "I'd like to see how long you can manage without me." Foot officially in mouth. Now she's taken up running again, cooking really healthy meals often. Every night, I come home to my perfectly happy Stepford-like wife doing everything without me, and I feel hollow inside. How do I fix this? I don't even know where to start. At this point, I just want to beg her to go back to how things were. This wasn't what we agreed upon. It's tough when the kids prefer her and she seems to handle everything better than me. I work a lot too. It used to help when she'd clue me in on the plan with the kids, but I'm starting to realize that maybe that's over now. Also, as some have asked, that wasn't just a silly game. That was a way for a woman to notice that you're never going to just go read your own kid a book. So she made it into a game for the child, so the child doesn't have to watch his mom come over to Dad and say, "Please read him a book. For the love of God, please." Because that would give the kid an inkling that you are not doing it out of your own free will, and if not instructed, you would not do it ever. And that could be upsetting. I'm so damn confused. I had this perfect life with an amazing, successful wife and a great job. We juggled 2 careers and 2 kids like champions, always communicating who's where, doing what activity, working together to manage the American dream of doing it all. Then my wife's job goes up in flames, and she's home all the time doing everything. She gets stressed, we fight, and now she's totally different. I don't give a damn about warm meals and a Stepford wife. I want my wife, my partner, my teammate, and yes, my darn manager back. She was incredible, and now I managed to mess it up as usual by sticking my foot in my mouth. She's still perfect, only now I know she's not doing what she wants, and that I've failed her in some way that seems to have broken her, or maybe fixed her. I don't know. Like I said, I'm confused and apparently an idiot. Some of you also said that maybe my wife wants an equal partner. You won't believe me anyway. I've been with my wife since we were kids, 15 to 16. I know this woman. She loved doing it all, and she was amazing at it. She always bragged about being a working mom, but she never put down women who stayed home. Her mother was a stay-at-home mom who got married super young. My wife didn't want that life. We used to joke about her earning more than me, so I could stay home. She never complained about the kids' schedule either. She did drop-offs at daycare, and I did pickups. We had a rhythm and flow. I think not being home during the day with them made her appreciate the time at night more than maybe I did. I don't know. But honestly, I think she was happy. My wife works with animals and makes her own schedule. She can schedule days off whenever, so she's more flexible. She's home to take the kids to daycare, and then I'd pick them up and drop them at my mom's, and my wife would get them around 4. She doesn't need to work. I pay the majority of the bills. My wife's job earns less, but that doesn't make it less valuable. She actually impacts the world. I just type at the computer all day and deal with air emissions. My wife works to pay for daycare. It's her big expense. I handle the mortgage and everything else. She also uses her money to buy stuff. She has full access to my account and often transfers money when it's low. I don't have access to her account. It's a personal boundary of my wife's that she always has her own private money. I don't need or want that myself, so she manages most of the finances. My wife has traumas around being stuck as a homemaker and baby maker. Edit. Some comments added to post. Edit 1. Guys, I understand now. I messed up big time, and I'm going to make things right. Edit 2. Thank you to those who reached out with advice. Believe it or not, I genuinely want to be a good father and husband. I've made a huge mistake, and I fully acknowledge it. This will be my final edit, and then I'm going to put my phone away for a while and focus on my family. When I got home, my wife had dinner cooked, and there was no tension between us. So I took the opportunity to do something nice for her. After we cleaned up, I ran her a bath, played Taylor Swift on her Alexa, and lit a few candles. I told her to relax upstairs for the night. She was surprised but smiled and went along with it. Right now, I'm watching my kids bathe. Some people mention love bombing, but I'm just trying everything I can to show her that I appreciate and love her, and I want to be a present father. Tonight, I'll handle bedtime, and I'll probably do it all next week too. I'll remind her that she does so much during the day and deserves a break because it's the truth. I know I may come off an asshole. I had a tough upbringing and didn't have the best role models, which has influenced how I handle things. I'm terrified of my children not having enough, so I overcompensate by working too much.